This is Talking Headshot number 16. So I had a topic for today that I want to talk about. I have zero talent. Some people be like, "What, bro? You're being humble. Like stop it." No, for real. I have zero talent. Why? Because I grew up with a lot of severe, not like disorder, but a lot of discouraged. I was battling with my stutter. I was battling with my accent. I had a FOB accent for like the longest. I forgot when I compressed that. I was battling with people calling me Rabbit Boy because I had like these two big old teeth, like front tooth. They call me like Rabbit Boy. I had so much nicknames growing up, and it really limited me on how I think, the way how I interact with people. I would have social anxiety when I go out. I hate talking to people. I always wanted to be by myself. Then the friends that I had, they went. So one day, my group of friends that I thought was my friend, I was out with my family somewhere, and we just came back from Vietnam, and I remember this was the time where like I had like this Michael Jordan jersey, and I had like these fake Air Force One, and I was so proud of it because I finally was able to like fit in with like the cool kids. So when I was out with my family, I think we were like out doing something, and a group of friends of mine knocked on my door, and my grandma opened the door, and they were like, "Hi, can we go inside because we forgot something in Chris's room?" And there were like four of them, and they rushed to my room and they stole everything. My parents bought me a PSP. A PSP is a PlayStation Portable. I don't think they make it anymore, but they stole that. They stole my Game Boy. They stole like my jersey. They stole like a lot of my valuable stuff. This was like in 8th grade, about to go to 9th grade to my high school. And ever since then, I had like a lot of trust issues with friends, people, and growing up dealing with like, my trauma, being getting made fun of, getting bullied, then going through like trust issue with friends. So it was very tough growing up, and I always had this curiosity of learning. Like whatever I enjoy doing, I just do it. I didn't care as much as along the way. And my parent was very supportive, and they gave me like a lot of unconditional love, and no matter what I do, they'll always love me for who I am. So, anything that I do, they always fully support it. That's why I stopped giving a F about anything else. Everything I do is it's always for them. I always have this curiosity of whatever I enjoy doing, I always try to do as much as I can. And when I lost interest, then I find something else. And and they call it the trails of broken dreams. And if you have ADHD, if you can't sit still, if you have so many ideas in your head that you want to do everything at once, but you can't master it, none, focus on one. And I've been very blessed and I've been very grateful for my sushi journey. At a very young age, my parents gave me the ability to eat sushi as much as I want, even though we were struggling so much. So as I got older, that's what I wanted to pursue. Somehow, some people may say I got lucky. Some may say it was destiny. Some may say it was God's work. Some may say it was faith. Whatever you want to call it. I was able to be very fortunate to have the ability that luck was on my side when I reached out to my sushi boss for an interview because he was looking for an experienced worker. I had zero experience, but I had the ability to work hard and not give up. There was a lot of times that I wanted to give up. There was a lot of times that I wanted to switch career because things didn't work out because my boss was an a-hole and he started threatening me because I didn't do X, Y, Z, and my dad had to help me find a new job because my boss put me on this probation and tried to threaten to fire me, and there was so much trauma that came with that job. But now that I've gotten older and I've understand what not to be when you're a boss, how I can treat my employee, and because they're the one that help you build your brand, and so you have to treat them very well because if you're in the food industry, it's very hard to find employees, and the turnaround is so much because a lot of bosses, a lot of chefs are like a-holes, and they think they think they're the shit, right? They think they're hot shit in the industry, but it doesn't mean that you can go around and just treat people like crap, because that's going to traumatize them, and that's going to make them have dramatic moments in their life, and they're gonna hate those, kitchen, whatever it is. So when I experienced that, I told myself that one day when I become a boss, I'm never gonna treat my employee like crap, because I don't want them to grow up or continue this journey remembering those moments. But at the same time, you could be hard on them, you could be strict because you care, but when you start treating people like crap, when you start treating people like they're your slaves, that's not cool, all right? Then that's why I always told myself, man, now I see why you guys lost everything, because you guys are horrible human beings, and karma came around and beat you guys in the ass. So I'm very fortunate that I was able to create a vegan sushi menu before I lost my franchise, because if it wasn't for that menu or that brand, then I would probably have to find a sushi job somewhere, or I have to go work at a 9 to 5. But I guess that's where my faith comes in, and after I lost that, then my soon-to-be business partner came and swooped me at my most desperate moment. And I remember there was this story or an analogy where you don't go to the grocery store when you're hungry, because when you go there, you start buying all of these unnecessary things. You start buying junk food. You start buying things that isn't healthy for you. You start buying Oreos, you start buying chips, you start buying sodas. So you have to go into any relationship with the mindset of not being desperate, not being a yes man or a yes woman. So what I learned from that experience was he caught me at my lowest point in life, and he gave me an opportunity, and I said yes. And he gave me such a good opportunity where like I felt like I had to repay it back in any kind of form. He gave me a food truck. So in my back of my head was like, okay, he gave me a food truck. Let me try to combine our brand together and create this dope global brand and be worldwide and have multiple franchises and whatever he needs, I'll pay for it. But I guess God, Buddha, the universe, or whoever you believe in, pulled me out of that situation before it got any worse. And I was able to leave that toxic area relationship with a lot of debt, a lot of mental issue, a lot of trying to heal myself. And till this day, I'm still trying to heal myself because it was such a traumatizing, dramatic moment. And every time I hear his voice or I hear his name, and it just triggers something inside of me, going back to those deep depression like days where I wasn't happy with myself, and I kept asking myself like, what's the purpose in life? But now that 3 years later, it's crazy. It's been 3 years that I'm slowly getting better, and a lot of things has changed in the last 3 years. I was able to focus on content because I was making content, but it wasn't serious. But when I came back to Houston from Dallas, I took my videography journey more serious. Then I started filming myself more. I started learning about cinematic videos. I started learning how to make cooler videos. The lighting, the camera, the lens, color grading. So I was very fortunate to come back, and I spent 2 years shooting for free. I was so desperate for work. I would go to every business and I'll be like, hey, let me shoot you a free video. Then they'll start taking advantage of it. I'm not gonna say who, but then they start taking advantage of it. Then they're gonna start like depending on it. Then when I don't deliver, they start getting frustrated. And I'm like, why would we get frustrated for free work? Right? Like, that doesn't make sense. What? People start getting comfortable with me. And because I didn't set any boundaries, because I feel bad for charging people for videos. But then now that I look back at it, I know why these freelancers or people that makes videos or photos, they charge so much. Because the camera costs a lot, the body, the lens, the microphone, the batteries, the memory card, the computer, time to learn how to make videos, time to learn how to edit videos, time to learn how to color a video, all of that. And that's why they charge like a lot of money. So when I start charging people money, let's say I was charging $100 for a 30-second video. And they were like, what? Why would you charge $100? It's only 30 seconds. And I showed them my setup. Yeah, but it's just a camera. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Cool. I'm gonna continue to find other people. Then eventually I have my own set of clients. And I realized it was taking up a lot of my creativity. I was getting burnt out. I wasn't having fun with content. Then when it's time to try to create content for my business, I just lost the creative juice. as they say, you hit like this writer block. You can't think of things to write about. Same goes with content. I didn't have things to shoot. I didn't have the creativity there. So what I've learned was, okay, you know what? Let me take a step back. I'm gonna put all my clients on hold while I focus on my brand, because my brand was suffering. So then I went back and just focused on my brand and progress and get better at content. And next thing you know, I came across this community, Creatopia by Ken on Instagram, and I joined it and started doing these talking headshot videos back in June. Started doing it in June, then did for a whole month, started getting better. And this was the exact spot 7 months ago when I filmed my first talking headshot video in public. Because I told myself that, like, hey man, like, if you want to get better at this, you have to do it out in public. And I was like, okay, you know what? What do I have to lose? So this spot right here is very sentimental for me, because this spot was the spot that changed everything in my life. And it's been such a crazy 7 months. Then learning how to write a script, learning how to storytell. Then Ken created a Creatopia clan that for people that are serious about making content, that wants to get better at storytelling. And I decided, like, hey man, like, I want to make this content journey work. So I joined, and the last 3 months has been like the best time of my life. Every day I'm always learning something. And in that time I was going through some adversities, and at first he was a coach, then he became a very great friend, because he guided me through that challenging moment. Because I thought two of my best friends that I called family was so close to me, and they end up backstabbing me with the same knife I gave them. And now I believe that there was this, I came across this video. It talks about how certain people that comes in your life will become teachers, whether you know it or not. And these two friends of mine, when I was hanging out with them, I was always saying yes, 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 yes to everything. My health was taking a toll. My work was taking a toll. In their eyes, they feel like, no, we give you whatever you want. Like, we'll give you whatever you want, like, just come and hang out with us. But what I've learned was I keep saying yes to everything, and I didn't go to work on time. Like, I would hang out with them, and I would sleep over at their place. I was eating junk food. I wasn't taking care of my health. I wasn't going to the gym. So every aspect keep getting damaged, and I didn't realize it until 6-7 months later. Then that's what I told myself, like, yo, like, hey, I can't be hanging out with you guys every single day. Like, I have my own life I need to do, and all you guys do is just sit around and smoke weed and just eat fast food. I didn't smoke, but I was around it because I stopped doing drugs. So then I just had to step away, and that's when they burned me by not paying for the car that I helped co-sign. And my credit score took a big fat dump. Everything I worked hard for was just gone in like a snap of a finger. So what I've learned from that experience was learn how to set boundaries and learn how to say no. That's what I've learned. And that's okay if you hurt their feelings, but at the end of the day, how do you feel? Like, how do you feel when you do that X, Y, and Z? And you're not happy with it, but you're making somebody else happy. Like, is it worth it? So that's something I learned to get better at, is by saying no and by focusing on my priorities that I need to do. And my priorities right now is sushi and content and family. That's it. I don't have that many friends, and I'm okay with it because it's been lonely for the last 10 years. I'm good as long as I can continue to learn about myself, learn about my craft, asking myself, how can I become better? What are the things I need to do to improve my craft, from whether it's sushi to making videos? How can I be a better son? How can I help my parents even more? Those are the things I need to focus on. Friends, I'm good. Like I'm good where I'm at. I don't have that many friends, and I'm okay. At first, I always wanted people around me, but then as I gotten better, as my business progressed, as my content's getting better, like I don't like to talk about it, but people start coming out and they start congratulating me. Hey bro, I love your content, like keep it up. Like, hey bro, can you help me with my content? Like, what? Where was the support when I needed the most? Where was the friendship when I asked, hey, let's go hang out? You always say you're busy. And I guess it's true when they say the higher you climb, the more lonely it is. I don't know, man. I have this thought of just focusing on myself, asking myself, how can I become better? What are the things that I need to learn? What are the things that I need to do to become a better chef, a better storyteller, and now a better streamer? Because I enjoy streaming. As crazy as it sounds, I love streaming. And for a kid that grew up wanting to miss class because he had a stutter problem, because he would mumbles when he talked, when he was made fun of for the way how he talked, the way how he looked, because of my rabbit teeth. For me to be on stream, to talk into like 10, 20, 30, 60, 200 people on live, man, I had to do so much self-work this past year. I had to do a lot of tongue twisters, putting a chopstick in my mouth so I can pronounce the word more clearly, with more clarity. Because before, my mouth would just mumble a little, but then now, like, I've learned to exaggerate my words. I learned how to tonality and learn how to emphasize which word, or learn how to storytell. Became a better communicator, all thanks to improv. Improv taught me that. Improv taught me how to talk, act, be funny, be witty, start thinking on my feet. It's crazy how this past year is like so much learning, and I had so much fun. And I can't wait for next year. Next year will be more fun, because this year I did not expect any of it. When the year rolled around from like 2024 to 2025, I was like, man, I was pretty down bad, because I kept saying yes to everything to my two best friends. Then I was like, man, I need to step away. And I thought I was losing two of my best friends. It was like, damn, like, what now? But along this past year, everything started to unfold. Like, because my sister fiance started planning the proposal from January. So for like 7 months, he was planning the proposal. And the proposal was in New York. Then I got into improv somehow because I was curious. I tried out like a free class and I was hooked. And I was like, yo, like, I want to do this. I signed up for my first improv class that took like 9 weeks. Then towards that carried on to doing these talking headshot video. I carried into going to New York and forcing myself to do these videos out in public, to getting better, to be comfortable filming in public, start vlogging. And from vlogging, then coming back here, then going out and shooting in public, then was it August, did my first challenge to write 30 scripts, film 30 days, edit 30 days for a whole month. Then I won that challenge. Then I rolled over to September. I won that challenge. Then Ken created a clan. Then I joined that. 3 months later, I got pretty good at storytelling. My videos are doing pretty well. Then Jesse was like, so Jesse is like another like coach in the Creatopia. And Jesse was like, yo, you ever thought about doing TikTok streaming? And I'm like, at first I ignored it. And I'm like, yeah. Because prior months ago, he brought that up. Prior months ago, I did my first streaming and I was so freaking nervous because the thing about streaming, everything is in real time. You can't edit anything out. So you have to continue, right? Then I was like, you know what? I don't ever want to do streaming. This is stupid. I'd rather make cinematic videos. Then after that, I threw that away, put that on the back burner. Then Jesse was like, yo, you should start doing these talking headshot videos while you're making sushi. You ever thought about streaming that? And I'm like, yeah. Then next thing you know, he brought it up again in one of like the comments. Hey, yo, if you ever do like streaming for TikTok, you will go crazy. And I'm like, fine. Because the last time, because every time Jesse says something, it always like work out because he helped me write the script back in September that went pretty viral. It got like 88,000 views. And I talked about how it was hard to find reliable workers. So 20 to 30 resume was in my inbox. And I was like, what the heck? Where does all of this come from? I'll be like, thank you, God. All right? So I was looking through all the resume and I came across this one resume that stood out. Her name is Jenna. She was like in like an art major. She used to work at like a poke restaurant. So I messaged her, hey Jenna, I love your resume. How about we do an interview? So I think like the following week we met up at this place called Local Food. And we went through the interview. I told her that I'll put you on a 2-month trial. At the end of 2 months, if I like you, I'll keep you. If I don't, then no hard feelings, but you have to go. She agreed, I agreed. So it's been 2 months already. So I decided to hire her. Then that's that story. So where the streaming comes in, so when I saw Jesse message the forum saying you should do streaming, I'm like, oh fine, okay. So I pull up my phone. If you're in the US, you know what Best Buy is. So Best Buy is like this electronic store. So I was trying to find like the cheapest iPhone so I can stream, because I can't stream with my current phone, because then if I try to stream, then the customer call, then like I have to go back and forward. So if I dedicate one phone to streaming and one phone for customer, okay. So then I went on Best Buy and I tried to look for like the cheapest phone. And the cheapest iPhone was iPhone 16e for like 600 bucks. And I'm like, dude, this is so much money, because I just bought like a Binchutan grill, and that I want to learn about grilling, but then like every time Jesse says something, like he's always right. So I'm like, I bit the bullet and I bought the phone. I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna start streaming. Because worst case scenario, I'll have 2 phones and I'll just put one phone all social media and one phone no social media. That's like worst case scenario. But I bought the phone. Next day I started streaming. Like right before I hit TikTok Live, my heart was racing, and I'm like, yo, like, and I remember that was the exact feeling that I always preach about. When you start feeling that anxiousness, when you start feeling the anxiety, when you start feeling that nervousness, that is the feeling that you're about to grow. So when you can reverse psychology yourself and tell yourself that, like, yo, like, I'm about to learn, this is gonna be dope, this is gonna be fun, what do I have to lose? That's the fun part. Because most people, they'll get nervous. Most people, they'll get nervous and they'll be like, man, they're throwing it out, man, F this is not for me. Then they'll go back into like their little comfort zone. So I hit live, and that's that. I didn't talk. I didn't look at the camera. I was just making sushi. So that whole week, I got like a couple of views. Then like my friends joined in, and I started talking in the chat. And they were like, hey, we could barely hear you because with all the fridges in the back. So I'm like, here, give me a second. So I attached my DJI Mic 1. What the heck? I attached my DJI Mic 1 to my phone. Then they were like, oh, okay, now we can hear you better. And now I'm like, crap. I only got one mic for my camera that I have to use for my camera and my phone to stream. I can't vlog or I can't make these videos. And I'm like, oh, now I have to get a second mic. And I'm like, oh man, oh, there goes 300 bucks. So I bit the bullet. I spent 300 bucks on another pair of mics. That's for my camera. It's a DJI Mic 2. I had to do like a lot of research before I buy it to make sure that this is like the correct one, because it comes with like this little lav mic that you can attach to this thing, this lav thing. Oh, I forgot I had it on. What the F? So this is the lav mic. So this, I have a bunch of stuff in my pocket. So I can connect this top part. I don't know if you can see it. I can connect this top part to my mic. I don't have to like wear my mic like this, because whenever you wear your mic like this, the audience will be like, they'll get distracted, right? So I put this little wire in, I put it in my pocket. I have this mic here, talk like that, less distraction. So then I was like, man, I just spent 900 bucks so I can stream. I think the first week we went up to like 60 viewers. We were like, yo, this is dope. Then I started engaging into the chat, and I was having so much fun engaging and building my community on TikTok. Then I had some customer that saw me through TikTok, and they came through and they started ordering. Then the second week, which was this past weekend, my sister's friend, or my sister's childhood friend, was having a baby shower. So I was making this sushi platter on the stream. and that stream went crazy. At first it was like 10 people, then 20 people, then they were like up to 60 people. Then everybody was curious like what I was making. Then when I pulled out the Lazy Sushi and the little sushi platter, and I started like putting sushi onto the platter, the whole chat went crazy. I think it reached up to like 200 viewers, and like everybody was in the chat. Well, and everybody in the chat was like, yo, do you send? Where do you stay? Or where do you sell? Like, where you based out of? Like, do you ship? All in the chat. Then it gave me this idea. Next month, I'm gonna make a video, and if that video get 10,000 likes, I'm gonna pick a lucky winner in the like section, and I'm gonna send them a free sushi kit. That's pretty dope, right? But you have to be in the US and you have to follow this account. I'll send them from sushi rice to sushi vinegar to seaweed to sushi mats, all the components to make sushi. Pretty dope idea. So I had the idea and I'm like, okay. So after work, I look up all of the ingredients or all the supplies on Amazon to see how much it will cost. Then I have to include like overnight shipping to make sure that like it doesn't like stay out for like too long. So it has to be overnight shipping. It's gonna cost a pretty penny, but that's the price you have to pay for R&D. R&D means research and development. So I don't know. I might start a sushi kit from this. All right, it'll be dope. Yo, we're at 36 minutes. We're halfway there. So I haven't shot in the last 2 days because I've been so busy. So I'm gonna just stack it up and shoot for an hour. So after the next day, now I know what the chat likes. The chat likes when I make sushi platter. So I'm like, all right, if you want to play like that, cool. So I put out a video saying I'm gonna be making a sushi platter on stream on TikTok in a few hours. And if you want to win that sushi platter, make sure you follow these two accounts, you like this post, you share it with somebody that you want to share it with, and at the end of the stream, I will give it out for free. Chat went pretty crazy. I think I have like 100 something viewers. It wasn't like a lot, but it was like a lot to me, right? Because like I was having fun, I was engaging with the community, and there was a handful of people that stood around for 4 hours watching me make sushi. 4 hours from 11 to 3. And I'm like, dude, you spent 4 hours watching me? Thank you so much. I'm so freaking grateful. Then a lot of them were like, man, like I wish I wanted that sushi platter. So I told them, how about this? Since you stuck around and watched me for the last 4 hours, I'm gonna write down a number on a piece of paper, and then I'm gonna put it into my apron. If you can guess that number at the end of me making this sushi roll, then I'll unveil my number, and if you say that number, you can get this free box of sushi. And the whole chat went crazy. Oh man, it's so, I don't know, dude. It's hard to explain that feeling when you're just an audience or that you're watching this video, but as a creator or as a person that like was streaming, and the things that you see in the chat is just so wholesome. Because when I first started this brand 6 years ago, I didn't have much support. My boss and the community and the company like crapped on my idea, saying that I was gonna waste time and money. Then they forced me to teach them when they crapped on my idea, and now I know why they lost everything. That's the way how they treat people. But in their eyes, they'll probably play that victim mentality. They always tell me, oh, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here. I got a few of those throughout my career. I got a few people just saying that, oh, if it was for me, then you wouldn't be here. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, thank you for teaching me the ropes. Thank you for guiding me on my journey. But I always try to go above and beyond on anybody that I help. And now it's still a problem because I can't turn it off. When somebody helped me, I always try to go above and beyond because I don't want, let me rephrase that. I don't ever want somebody say, oh, if it wasn't for me. So that's something I'm trying to heal from, because a few times that like the closest people to me said that, it really like triggers me, and that's like my traumatizing moment. And I remember that exact feeling when they said that. So that's why I always feel very guilty when people help me, because my career, it was a very hard and cold journey. Cold as in all of the people that I trusted, all the people that I love, I adore, that I care for, they just turned their back on me and they just want to make a quick buck. They try to squeeze every ounce of energy out of me, try to take advantage of it, and I guess God punished them with karma. That's how I see it. Then everybody that like did that start losing everything. And that's something my mom told me the other day, because my generosity, I got it from my family. My thoughtfulness, I got from my family, because my parents are like the most thoughtfulest people ever. So when I help people, I don't want anything. I just want people to be happy. And that was the people-pleasing syndrome that I grew up with, and I wanted people to like me. I just want like a genuine conversation. Then on top of that, my parents gave me that unconditional love, and that's what I try to do with people. Then it just backfired. Because when they expect so much from me, but the moment that I say no, it really triggers them. It's kind of like when you let somebody borrow an iPhone charger, then when you ask it back, or when you ask for it back, they get very offensive. Like, what the heck? Like, yo, that was my charger first. Like, why would you get offensive when you borrow it from me? So that's why like, I had to be very, 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 very careful. Man, I don't know if it's still like a toxic trait or like something I'm trying to heal from. Like I still have trust issues with my friends. That's why I'd rather be by myself and do my own thing, because I'm happy with where I am at. I'm happy with my career choices. I'm happy with making videos. I'm happy with having the few people in the Creatopic community. That's who I just talked to. And I just made a new friend named Louis Tan, that goes by Respect Walk. He added me to like this food content creator community, and we've been chopping it up for the last couple of days, and super cool guy. He's been spilling so much knowledge about content creation, how to monetize, how to create a product of my own, and not try to sell your soul to like companies and for a quick buck. So man, if Lewis is watching this, man, shout out to you, dude. I'm grateful for you. Because in this space, or in this space, it's hard, because once you start getting better at making videos, you start getting followers, you start getting more views, more eyeballs. Like, the ugly truth is, who is your friend and who isn't? Like, who's trying to use you for what you've learned? And who's like that genuine friend that really just want to have like a normal conversation? And I came across a few people. Like when my video was doing like a couple hundred views, nobody was talking to me, right? But when my video started getting like in like the thousands, like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, people started like messaging me like, yo, like, hey, how you been? And I'm like, damn, like, if it's like this now, can you imagine when the numbers start going higher, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 100,000 views? Like, that's why I always try to analyze everything. And that's why my brain don't stop working. Like, it's like always trying to like think of like the worst and the best outcome, right? I try to think about more of like the best outcome. Okay, once I hit 100,000 followers, it's who I become in the process. It's what I've learned. How can I storytell better? How can I become more vulnerable? How can I share my story that hits millions and millions of people? And the downside will be, you're gonna get a lot of hate from unnecessary people. You're gonna get haters. You're gonna get friends that hit you up because they want to use you for clout. Because I've been listening to like a lot of these stories about these high-level creators, the pros and the cons that comes with high numbers, followers, or viewerships. So that's why I have to think about those things. I have to create a plan when I get there, because I even asked my coach what it's like to go viral, what it's like to have hundreds of thousands of followers and hundreds of thousands of viewers. Like, how do people around you treat you? Just like when you create a business, at the beginning, like, they'll support you. Go Chris, we'll support you. But then when you start picking up traction, when you start getting better, then this is the ugly truth, is people want you to do well, but not better than them. Like, what? But the people that are above you sees you, and they're the one that's gonna root for you, because they are the one that knows what it feels like to start from the bottom, then you're working your way to the middle, then now you're working your way up to the top. So the people that are above you will never crap on you, but the people that are at your level or below you will say that you can't do it, that say that you change, that your personality changed, that you're fake. Like, what? No, because every stage in your journey, you have to become a different person. And to give a more better understanding, let's take content. From 0 to 1,000 followers, you're learning how to create a video. You're learning how to color grade. You're learning how to add sounds. You're learning how to storytell. From 1,000 to 10,000. Now you're scripting better. You start learning how to add more details, relatables, moments, stories inside your script, your transition might get better. You learn how to make a more impactful story under a minute. Then from 20 to like 50,000, now all you need to do is just like double down and just keep repping it out and make it's quality over quantity. Then like what Coach Ken said, different seasons, you're gonna do like a lot of reps, a lot of quantity over quality, try to rep it out. But then once you hit a certain season, then it's quality over quantity. Then from there, then you get to 50 to 100, then you become a different person. So every stage or every 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 followers, you switch up, not switch up, but like you change your mindset, you change the way how you create your formula. Because we all have our own style. Because I may teach you something that Ken might not agree on. Ken might teach you something that doesn't work for me. Jesse might teach you something that doesn't work for me or Ken. So our goals when you make content is you learn from everybody. When you learn from everybody, that's when you create your own style. At the beginning, you have to steal like an artist and pick somebody that you admire and you want to copy them. But along your journey, you're going to pick and choose what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Because I have this story how when I first wrote my first script, and this is the story I always talk about. I still remember it's like July 31st or August 1st. It was like around those days. And it was like the first Q&A with Ken. It was on a Thursday. And I still remember exact moment. I set my alarm clock for 4:30 in the morning. I woke up and I sent Ken my rough draft of my script. He fixed everything in my script. So next day I was so excited because Ken is like the master of like scripting. So I was so excited I have my own script and I went back to sleep. Next day I filmed that video and I read the script. After I posted it, I listened to it. It did not sound like me. I sound so robotic. I sound like I was reading a script. And that's when I realized I gave my pen to Ken to write my story. Then I took the story back and I read it because we have two different personalities. What I was supposed to do was take that script, read it, fix the wording to make it sound like me. I learned that through like many days of filming. Okay, I sound like this. I don't use this word. When I use this word, it doesn't sound like me because this is the word that I don't use daily. So from that experience, I'm like, okay, now that I see other creators are learning how to write a script, I tell them, don't copy word for word. Crap, so loud. I wonder if you can hear me. I have 6 minutes left. So I always tell people, don't copy word for word. Dude. Don't copy word for word, but rewrite the script to how you would talk. Because there's certain words that I say every day that you may not use. There's words that you say that I may not use. So go back and learn from all of us. So eventually you're going to create your own style. And that's where I learned that from jiu-jitsu. My jiu-jitsu teacher was like, once you hit intermediate, because fundamental, He put you in fundamental for like a year, year and a half, so you can understand fundamental. But when you get into intermediate, he always give an intermediate speech, and he goes, just imagine me like I am the lunch lady. And every day or every class, I'm going to give you a curriculum. You can pick and choose what moves you like and what moves you don't like. You don't have it to add it into your arsenal. So, don't try to learn everything. Learn what fits inside your game. Dude. Find what works for you and add that into your arsenal. Because if you try to learn everything from everybody, it won't sound authentic when you film it. And that's the problem a lot of people are having trouble with in the community, is they're not independent. But I don't blame them, because at the beginning, like, you want somebody to like teach you, to hold your hand, so one day when you're ready, you can spread your wings and fly away from the nest. Because that's what Ken, my coach, said, is he wants to train me so one day that I can be independent on my own and that I don't need him. Well, like, I need him, just like a cool, genuine friend, but where to a point where like I don't need help with scripting, where I don't need help with the hook or any visual. So that was his goal, is for me to be independent, where I can write any script and it'll go viral. So I'm slowly getting better. And yesterday we were on a call, and I had this idea. It wasn't an idea, but I told him something. I realized everybody that was in the clan, he's slowly molding them to become a coach, whether he sees that or not. And the last couple of scripts that I wrote, he barely made any minor tweaks to it. He saw the progression in how I was able to create a script where he doesn't have to touch much to it. Because before, like, when I write a script, there was like a lot of fluff, there was a lot of unnecessary information. Then he had to go back and he had to, like, from my script, and he had to like tone it down to like half of it. But then now he only made like minor tweaks. So he's saying that I've gotten like a lot better. And that was through talking to him every single day, having these one-on-one calls once a week. It finally paid off. And I'm just so grateful. And I cannot believe how fast it progressed. Because 7 months ago, I couldn't even speak one word to the camera. And now, let alone, I can write my own script that is gonna become viral one day. It's so crazy how this past year, everything is coming together. And I was having a lot of doubtful moments at the beginning of the year. Like, I started the year off pretty bad because, like I said, like, I was hanging out with my two best friends that got married super early. And then 6 months into the relationship, they start butting heads and they start arguing so much. And every time they argue, they always want me to pick sides, and it really drains me. And I became their like personal therapist. So whatever they're feeling, they'll run to me, both sides, and they'll just drown me with their problems. And I have my own problems, so it took like a lot of toll on me, and that's how my year started off. It was pretty bad mentally, and now we're ending the year off pretty dang good. Holy crap, I am at 59 minutes and I just want to say I am so freaking grateful. Life is so good right now. I am loving my position where I am at, and I know that there's going to be a lot more opportunities going to come up in the next couple months, a year. I'm so excited for next year because this past year I've done so many scary things to overcome my public speaking, my anxiety, my overthinking, my anxiousness. So I'm gonna wrap this video up, go work on my script so I can film tomorrow and make my coach proud. So if you make it this far, it's an hour. Thank you for watching. I love you and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. Let me take a picture of this real quick. Yo, that's an hour, bro. Crazy.